Today I'm going to be talking about Bitcoin. Before I do so, come to ztrades.net. Check out our terms and conditions page right here. If you agree, feel free to watch the video and also join the Discord right here for free. If you don't agree, get lost. So everyone, because we've been trending down, they're bearish, right? They're bearish. They didn't think the halving cycle was going to work. They thought the halving itself was an event where it explodes and then that's it. Like it's an earnings report. And nobody, it seems like not a soul anywhere has ever studied Bitcoin or the cycles. They don't understand the cycle. I can even present the information and they still don't believe it. They said the halving was a dud. Even though Bitcoin's up, 130%? A year ago from a year ago to today. So you can see right here, we've got a flag. We have a flag and it is holding up well. I think you're wrong. All of you that are wrong, that don't think that it's going to go. Now, if I end up being wrong and for some reason it doesn't go this time, it would be due to some type of economic catastrophe or war. At any point in time, if that happened, everything would drop regardless, right? So it's wanting to bust out over here, and it is strong, very strong. But if we take a look again, we have a beautiful cup and handle. The average time for Bitcoin to start running after the halving is 170 days. We're at 153 days right now. So we have, what is that, 17 days, 17, 18 days? Right, so that would put us at right at about November, right around. And I've been saying this since 2023, November and December. I'm pretty sure we're going to be very bullish then, just like always, just like every halving cycle. What happened last halving cycle? Quantitative easing. What happened what just happened yesterday? We started quantitative easing. Not even a quarter point, but a half point, and the Fed's expected to cut 0.75 points more this year. So the Fed rate's supposed to be around 2.9 by the end of 2026, but by then the halving cycle's over at that point. But if we don't crash somehow, which it seems like that's kind of inevitable at some point next year, if we have some type of blow off top or something, I don't know, right? With pending war everywhere, and every time that we've went into quantitative easing after hiking, we've crashed every time, every single time. So, but this is a beautiful cup and handle right here. Gorgeous. I need to adjust these EMAs. These are not the right EMAs to have up here right now, but it is respecting it in a way. It's kind of resting right on it over here and over here. So once we can crack out of that, I'd really like to see us above 65. Right, 70 is definitely 70 and around that range. That's on Bitcoin futures is an area where we've struggled with all the way up into 71, and we're going to need to crack that. But I expect this thing to go easily into the 90s, I think that there's going to be a lot of people wanting to take profits around 100, but with quantitative easing spurring up here. Expect the dollar to drop significantly. Let's go ahead and chart. I just looked up over here. Unfortunately, I don't have it up. That's where it always is. I don't like that we have that 1, 2, 3 on the monthly. Doesn't mean that it has to play out. But the dollar's been dropping. And it looks like we'd like to crack, finally. I'd like to see us below this, this area right here. I'd like to see us crack that and come all the way down into this area over here into 96. That would be great. And overall, I would love to see us come back down to around the normal range, right around here, right between 96 and 98. That would be great. That's what I'd really like. But we could even come down to 94 on the dollar. So depending on how heavy we're going to go into QE. If there's some type of catastrophe, they'll just bunch all the cuts that they wanted to do over the next, almost 2 years, and they'll bunch it around 2 years, year and a half or so. They'll just bunch it together all, compress it into like a 3-month period, right, or into a quarter. And if they did some type of emergency cut, if it was something related to banks or war or something like that. So we'll see how that plays out. But again, I am very bullish here. ETH. Well, we can't look at a monthly on that, but this thing's starting to run. I bought this yesterday, somewhere over in here. So we'll see. This isn't going to help us looking at this. It's so new, we really can't take a look at anything here. Let's take a look at some of the crypto-related stocks. I wonder if I should just, well, I can't pull that up. But take a look at Coinbase here. This is weekly on Coinbase. It's not looking bad. Not looking bad at all. I would really, really love to see us come all the way back up to this 220 range over here. That would be fantastic. And in fact, I need to pull up the volume profile. I can already tell where there's volume gaps. Let's go ahead and pull that up. See what it looks like. I may have to readjust it a couple times here. Well, we'll leave it on the daily. A volume gap up basically to 200. Let's take a look at the weekly. That's not really helping us out at all. Yeah, 211. That's not really helping us out too much. But I would definitely love to see us back up in this range up here. Let me go ahead and move my head over to the side a little bit. And go ahead and highlight that. All right, this is where sellers were 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times. I'd like to see us inch all the way back up into here. That would be great, into 278. And we could this time, since Bitcoin should be higher, we could come up to that range. I doubt it, but it depends on how hard Bitcoin's going to go. It'd be nice to see us back at 350 on this. I just picked up shares in Coinbase recently. I can't even remember at what, 160 something. Let's take a look at micro. I think it was 164. May have been 170. MSTR. MSTR is holding up very well. Let's take a look at it on the daily. And let's get off this study here and get over to a proper study for swing trading. Or one that's at least a little bit better here. I'd like to see us back at 170. Let's take a look at it, MicroStrategy on the monthly. Monthly looks great. Monthly looks fantastic. I don't like how deep that candle went over there. But that's when we had all that turmoil a month and a half ago with that gigantic drop. I would love to see MicroStrategy break out and hit. There it is over here at the last halving cycle. App split adjusted, $12 to 132. That's a lot. This time, 30 to 201. Wild. Absolutely wild. So it would be great to see. Bitcoin's just getting started here. This thing could go to, 300, 400 bucks if we go parabolic on Bitcoin. Being realistic, we could easily see the 200 or higher range on this again. I own MicroStrategy. Dollar cost average is around 140, I think is what it is. So that would be nice to see that happen. What else do we got? CLSK. It looks like crap. Looks like absolute crap. We've given a lot of everything back up over here, coming back down to a normal range. If we end up being bearish here in September and October, we could come down easily to this range over in here, where we were there and over in here, right? The 7s and 6s. I would say I don't really see it going lower than 7. Look at that 1, 2, 3 with a rejection off an EMA right there. I think that's the 50 I have up, depending on what EMA set. That doesn't look too good. But again, I would like to see us come all the way back up to 25 plus. Riot keeps diluting, so they're killing the dang stock. I do not want to sell any more options on that. I'm very wary of Riot and everything going on, but it would be nice to see this thing go back up to around where it was over here in December of last year. See, it wasn't as diluted back then. They've been diluting it, but they are also doing a lot of stuff which is bullish for the stock, but bearish for the stock price. Bullish for the company and bearish for the stock price. Mara's holding up fantastic. It's hung out in this range for such a long time. We were in this range in July of 2023, and we've been visiting this range, you know, for a year and a half now. I would love to see Riot come all the way back up, you know, in this 25 range over here. I really should have taken some profits over there where it had projected most of, it's all $27. That is crazy. So it would have been nice to sell and then rebuy when she had that big drop at 13 and had basically, you know, nearly doubled your position. This isn't liquor, by the way, guys. Spanish mineral water. I don't know if you guys, if it'll show it. Yeah. It was so good at the restaurant. I brought it out, which is kind of trashy, like a hobo. I brought the water with me out of a very nice restaurant, which I was like, I don't care. I have to bring this stuff with me. I got to buy it. Yeah, Mara's just going to dance around. It'll end up squeezing, in my opinion. But it's not going to do anything until Bitcoin really goes parabolic. BITO, since that dividend is so heavy and aggressive, it actually looks good here. We're in this channel. We came all the way back down to this pivot, right near that range. I'd like to see it break back out and come all the way up. If it comes up to the 25 range, the dividend's like 40% on this. And I bought it at $14 back in, somewhere over in here. Right there. I think right here, in here. This is where I bought it. And because I remember buying it and I never saw red after I bought it. So it was right there, somewhere over in here. And gosh, that thing sold $33. But I've left this on drip. I started with 100 shares on one of my portfolios. And I'm at 100, and I added 2 on accident. I was trying to buy something else, but I was thinking of BTC at the time, and I kind of started to buy to purchase there. I was like, what am I doing? So I'm at 155 shares. I've let it compound. It's on drip. So when this thing starts to go parabolic and really push here, I'm going to turn drip off, and that's going to be the start of my process of taking profits. So I'm still green on it, and they've given me over half my position that I put in. It's about to be free. If I can keep getting whopping dividends on this thing, and it's buying it when it's dropping low like that, I mean, the compounding on it is just absolutely insane. So if I would like us to pop back up again, monthly's probably not going to tell me too much other than the fact that we're forming a hammer. You know, it would have to close that. That wick needs to be twice as long as the body, so it doesn't really help me out there. But we got to get out of this channel that we've been trending down on. Let's go back over to a weekly. That looks a little bit better. My plan here, I'm getting off topic, is when this thing starts to really push, you know, Bitcoin starts to push in November, December, late December is when it should really be going. I'm looking to I'm going to start turning drip off. I'll probably turn the drip off in December, and next year in 2025, I'll probably have to start scaling out at some point in mid 2025. Let's say, you know, between February and April, I'm going to start my scale out and be out of it completely. I'd like to see this thing go parabolic. It would be awesome to see it go to $50, $60. I doubt that's going to happen. Depends on how hard Bitcoin's going to run. And then start a short position in BITO, since the dividend is there to support your short position with a 40% distribution. That's insane. That's crazy. So those large dividends are going to yank that thing down, and it's going to fight it. So we'll see how that turns out. I would go into other equities. That's going to be another video this weekend on what I'm looking at. We'll go into that. I'm not going to give any hints, but there's some stuff coming up. But that's my plan on BITO here. So it'd be nice if IBIT had options. That chart looks like crap on a weekly. Here's BITX. Doesn't look bad at all. What am I doing there? What's going on here? I really don't think that you can't really chart this. It doesn't work because it has it's pointless. You know, it's leveraged. You can't really chart the leverage stuff. You'd have to chart the underlying, and that's how you would figure out when to get in this. But if Bitcoin, these leverage funds want to see a stock, whatever they're following, tracking, run in one direction and go parabolic. They have to see it go parabolic in one direction. That's what it wants. It doesn't like this slow, bouncy, choppy stuff, because let's say Bitcoin is just going to run vertical, horizontal. this would chop downwards because it's leveraged. It wants to see it run quick and fast, and that's when this would pick up, and we'd be at $50, possibly $60 again. So if I'm trying to think if there's anything else that I need to cover crypto related, and unless I could pull up Solana on this, I would do that, but I can't pull that up on TD Ameritrade. So Solana, check it, cup and handle. Again, to do a recap here, Bitcoin monthly, weekly. I hate the open interest thing. Get out of my life. Get off there. Bitcoin weekly, sure guys, okay. Let's say it rejects and it does drop. Well, we're still just going to be in the channel. We're still going to be in the channel, and then it'll give me more time to accumulate. And then that'll be my, I can't add anymore. If we end up coming back down to, like, let's say 54 again, I'll be adding big time. And look at this little hammer right here. Beautiful at 42 and an explosion to 74, excuse me. But yeah, it would be nice to see us break out 70, 75. That would be fantastic. Break out of that cup and handle and trace all the way back up. 80. 80's nothing. That's not a big deal. We were almost there. That's only 6K off the Bitcoin futures. But see us come up into the 90 range, 100 range. That would be fantastic. And what everything's saying is anywhere between 140 and 160. There's some of the predictions. The other predictions are, there's a lot pointing at 240K. The stock to flow chart does say 440, and it hasn't been wrong so far. I doubt we're going to go there. I mean, we would have to have everything go right in the economy and everything go wrong for the dollar, meaning violent cuts, extreme deflation, but the economy's still roaring. That's like what it basically would take. But we got that flag, and this pole right here with this flag is the right side of a cup and handle. Why are you guys bearish? Why are you bearish? Why? Because it didn't go for the halving. It takes 170 days. This is what I'm going to close with. 170 days after the halving. We're at 153 days before it starts going. This is a monthly right here. So, we could open up another. I don't know where we're going to open. It may hang out and open down here, but it should bust out of that. I'm predicting probably around mid to late November is when I'm expecting us to cruise and then be up in this zone. And December, I expect the cup and handle to break. If you all remember gold, I had been talking about this cup and handle on gold, which it didn't used to look like that. Now it's all smashed. It used to look like this. And I had been noticing this when we started to drop off in 2020. I was like, wait a second, is this forming a cup and handle? My God, did this take a long time to play out. I had been buying gold based on this cup and handle. And every time I freaking bought it, I ended up red. I was just red the entire time. But I stuck with my plan because I knew that this was going to break out because we have quantitative easing. I saw the lows getting higher, and I'm like, okay, now we're bouncing, and this roof is right here. We knocked once, twice, 3 times, 4 times, higher lows, and I just kept buying, and I kept buying, and we exploded, and we busted out of there. And we're about to go into, that's going to be a separate video, gold and metals and silver and all that, but we had this cup and handle, and I stuck to the plan. I'm sticking to the plan even though it is very painful, and it's been very painful. I'm still, again, sticking with the plan and waiting for this to break. And when it does, I'm sorry, but I'm going to have to make fun of all the bears, and it'll be a learning lesson for you guys. As long as there's not an economic collapse, and as long as World War III doesn't break out with Israel about to invade in Lebanon probably within a week or two after this attack. I don't know if that's going to do too much. That's not a big deal. If there's any nuclear war threats or something like that, that can affect the market big time, or us. But then also the money printer comes on, and violent QE and inflation kicks in, and Bitcoin could just take off. So let's see how this unfolds, guys. Let's see how it unfolds. If you guys like this content, make sure to like and follow for more. Again, the Discord is completely free to join.